We're on. But yeah, so you don't like any games?
Yeah, I do. Let me get my brain juice going.
I still have this Newton's Folly. This is probably from a month ago.
Oh yeah.
Open. So what I thought about tonight was, until we have like a 5-0 week, I should take a sip of like an old ass drink. Isn't that a good idea?
No.
It'd be good entertainment.
Shout out to our sponsors tonight, Kempe. So this is a 2019 Cabernet Franc from the Santa Ynez Valley down in Buellton. Los Olivos is where the tasting room is. This is the wife of Jeff Barbieri, who is the owner of Barbieri Wines, which we're a member of and we love. And when we go down to Los Olivos, one of my favorite places, we get some more wine. And Kempe is his wife's label. So this is his wife's Cab Franc, and I'm a big Cab Franc fan. And so here's to our picks.
What the hell's a Cab Franc?
It's just
as opposed to a Cab George or a Cab Mateo.
Why does my camera look blurry?
I think it's the Cab Franc.
A Cab Franc is a slightly blended Sauvignon, I believe. The grapes, more of the Bordeaux style grapes. So it's a little different. I'm just going to clean this up.
That looks better, just like that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're back.
So anyway, that's about as much as I know about Cab Francs. I just know I like it, and I always believe that if you like it, then drink it. If you don't like it, then find something else. Hey, what about those Bears in the over? How about that?
I totally forgot there was a game. Tell me the Bears won.
Oh, the Bears won? Tell you the Bears won. It was like 40-20. The Bears won.
They did?
Yes.
That's huge for my win totals. I needed the Commanders to slip up a little bit. Bears, I'm not worried about. They're now 1-4. You're shitting me, aren't you?
No, 40-20.
40-20. The Bears beat the Commanders.
Fields had a great night. Fields had 282 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 of them to DJ Moore.
Wow. Well, that is good news.
They were 27-3 at halftime.
Whoo! And we had Bears over, right?
But Bears over, baby.
That's easy money.
Come on.
That's easy. Who wouldn't pick the Bears this week? I mean, seriously. They've been on the verge of being less shitty for about a month, which is as long as the whole season's been going.
Just great. So a less shitty team against another shitty team who
Washington hasn't played that bad.
They were terrible. But I'll tell you what it does. Well, we'll get to it later on. But it gives me an interesting pick this week. But
okay.
Yeah. That was
you want to hit the recap?
I wish I'd picked it. Let's do the recap.
All right. Recap, flashing over to a new screen. I'm going to try to use the Stream Deck a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really tell on there, but the Broncos pushed. We don't have to talk about that too much. Yeah. Although, maybe the Bears, they played the Bears last week. Maybe the Bears are showing a little bit of a pulse. We nailed Jacksonville. We nailed Baltimore. Kansas City was just an abject disaster, although they were up 17-0, right?
Yeah, they should have.
And then they just shit the bed.
It's just, KC just drive me nuts.
Well, they don't cover very often, but that was a game that.
It's like, come on. Definitely that was a big win. Obviously it wasn't.
Well, and if you jump out 17-0 to a completely inferior team, you just got to throttle down and win that game 35-10. But they didn't.
They didn't.
And Mahomes is throwing interceptions. I looked at, I go through and I do all my data entry for the drive summaries. They had 2 one-play interception drives. Well, that's a shitty. And Zach Wilson's getting all this praise. I don't know. So I don't like giving that many points. Our other friend up here on the screen that's lit up is the 49ers. You told me that game was going to be 21-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Not so, my friend. I believe that was a lucky cover for the 49ers.
We'll be talking about this game later on because there's a big pick in my top 5.
Big pick?
Based on that game.
All right. So, I would say I would say my 49er picks have been relatively unlucky. Week 1, we just got Pittsburgh wrong. They kicked their ass. Week 2 was that weird McVay kicking a field goal at the end of the game. That was bullshit. They should have covered that one. Week 3, we were off on the Giants because it was a Thursday night game. And then last week, I've got a good stat for you. Okay, the Arizona Cardinals, up until 1 minute and 59 seconds left in the fourth quarter against the 49ers, had been covering the point spread every second of the fourth quarter of the entire season. And they almost backdoored it anyway. So They are number one. I like fourth quarter cover rate. They are number one in the NFL in fourth quarter cover rate at 97, just shy of 97%.
They're not a bad team.
They're a scrappy little bunch.
They're not a bad team.
I think the line was right. I think as the game played out, the Niners are, I would say, probably 10 to 13 points better. 14, you could probably sway me either way. I'm not surprised the 49ers by one than more than 14. I just don't think Arizona's that bad.
No.
So it turned out the score broke in favor of the Niners covering.
I have to say something to you because I was disappointed when I saw your picks, your circa picks.
Why? My circa picks?
Yeah, because you didn't do very well. And I thought,
I'm doing shitty.
I know, because you don't listen. And I was like, why did he take the Giants against Seattle? Why?
I told you why.
This game, but we talked about this game, and I told you not to. I told you that it was a good team, and the Giants, I think, now they're fighting for being the most awful team.
Yeah. So,
but you picked it in the circa, man.
I picked it in, but I'll tell you why. And I said this last week. I either said it on my solo show or with you. The two most motivated teams last week were Jacksonville and New York. Jacksonville lived up to the billing. The Giants were shit.
Right.
And I know I said this. I was trying to go through, I want the better teams. In every matchup, I want to try to get the better team. I want to just start with who is the better team. Don't worry about the point spread. Well, statistically, Atlanta was the better team over Jacksonville. But I thought motivation perspective, we're going to give the edge to Jacksonville. Seattle was the better team, clearly. Going into the game. And they were clearly the better team throughout the game and after the game.
Yes.
So, it was a bad pick.
It was a bad pick. It's just a
bad pick.
That. So what is he doing? The other ones I can agree with. I know where you're thinking. I was like, you didn't go Giants. You just didn't. That's the only one.
Dear God. Well, I don't think the Giants are that bad. Going into the season, I was higher on the Giants than everybody else. Yeah. And I have to change my opinion now. They're not good.
Yes. Anyway.
Another thing I'm doing is I'm looking at my stats before and after the game.
Yeah.
So now, if you looked at all the stats, Jacksonville would be better than Atlanta. So that game swung entirely to now there's a new better team, regardless of, the head-to-head matchup.
Yeah.
The Giants and Seahawks aren't close. So it was a shitty pick.
Yeah. Bless you. All right.
I still think I had a winning week, though.
You were 3-2, I think.
3-2, and we were 3-1-1 here.
3-1-1.
Which is good. Yeah. We're 11-8-1. I don't know where that is in the standings. So, all right. You ready to rock?
Yes.
Here we go. We're looking at the week 5 contest card.
Just a shout out here. You can't see it because of where the name is, but it's over here.
32 red. Yeah. How's your other nipple?
Middlesbrough. 3 wins out of 3, scrambling off the bottom of the table. We're now out of the relegation zone. Come on, Middlesbrough.
This is relegated out of a couple divisions below the Premier League, right?
Not a couple divisions. We're 1 division below. That's all.
So they're in jeopardy of getting relegated down to out of the division that's already down from the Premier League.
Yes, which we were in the playoff spot for last season.
That's what you told me.
We could have gone to the Premier League. We were bottom. We were tied bottom with Sheffield Wednesday. And there's a guy who works for me.
That's a great name.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
The Owls. And he's a Sheffield Wednesday fan. Sheffield Wednesday have played 10 games and won 0. I love.
Well, they're gonna get relegated. I think.
I love that he's working at my school. It's every day. It's a joy to see him. Every day. Middlesbrough were 23rd and 24th, tied for that last place. We've jumped all the way up to the mighty 17th position.
Okay, so solidly in. But how far along in the season are we here?
10 games.
10 games in out of like 30 they play?
Oh, gosh. No, I can't remember the full total. It's got to be like, it's more than that.
You don't even know how many games they play.
I don't know how many games they play.
Okay, well, I know that there's 17 in the NFL. So
yes,
there's your nice little plug, because I know you send this show across the pond to your fan club and your family. Same thing in southern Scotland. And we usually do this with tell me what you like. You have a better record than I do, so I'll give you the honors.
No, last week it was my 5 came first. Now it's time for you. I've been waiting to hear your 5.
No, I don't like doing that. We can do it that way if you want.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Let me go to my notes here. And I think well, should we talk about the Niners Cowboys first, or you want to talk about that last?
Well, that's a definite pick. So do your other top picks.
Okay. So usually when you're doing yours, I write down what you like and then figure out if I'm on the same page as not. Hold on a second. Let me.
We can do that if you want to. We can do it again, like whatever you want. If that's how you like it, I'm happy to go through my.
No, we can switch it up. I mean, I think my 5 this week are pretty clear.
Yeah, mine are not bad.
Okay, so here's what I like. I'll just give you the teams. I like Buffalo. I like Houston. I like Arizona. I like Philadelphia. I like Kansas City. You don't have any of them, do you? What's worse than if you don't have any of them is if you have the opposite team.
So I'm taking San Francisco's game out. I got the Vikings.
I didn't give you the SF Dallas pick.
I got the Vikings.
Okay, hold on. Minnesota plays one of those teams.
KC.
Minnesota plays KC. Okay.
I got the Rams.
I thought for sure you were going to like Philly and KC this week. Okay.
I'll tell you why I don't. I got the Rams. I've got Arizona. That's probably my number 1 bet of the week.
Okay.
And I've got the bet that Buffalo. I love Buffalo.
Okay.
Love them.
Yeah, you loved them last week. I owe you. Owe you a night out on the town.
Sitting right here, Buffalo -2.5. Andy, Phil wins a night on Andy, and I wrote that down before it even happened because it was like a foregone conclusion. I was just laughing.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't close either.
No.
Although I guess I haven't listened to as much this week as busy, but allegedly that game was closer than the score.
I've got moving on from that statement. I'm Houston and Atlanta. It's my silver set of picks.
Okay.
And I like Atlanta. And my other top pick, which is not connected to anything that you've on here, is Green Bay. In my top tier, my golden picks.
Okay. Green Bay, Las Vegas, Monday night.
What have I given you there? Vikings, Rams, Arizona, Green Bay. Oh, Tennessee. Sorry.
You're back on Tennessee.
Well, they're my top. So Tennessee sneaks into the 6th spot because I've not talked about Dallas and San Francisco in my top 5.
Okay. Okay, so excluding the Niner game, which we're going to, by the way. Are you fired up?
I can't wait.
It's going to be fucking brilliant.
I can't wait, mate.
Maybe next year when
this game of the season
when we develop a little bit more, we're going to broadcast from the fucking tailgate.
Live.
Yeah.
So, last week when I was Pepe.
Yes.
Chris watched us again on early in the week. Watched the whole thing.
Is that why you're not in costume?
No, well, he told me I should. He said, every time you make a comment about a character, you should dress up as them last week. And then the following week, he said, so you should have picked somebody from Roadhouse or a Sacha Baron Cohen character. And he sent me the picture.
He's listening carefully.
Yes, he sent me the picture of Sacha Baron Cohen in his one-piece little uni beach tard thing he was wearing. I said, that's one nutbag right there, literally.
Well, probably. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so obviously I'm not doing that. I'm just representing Middlesbrough. Just representing Middlesbrough today. But yeah, I got to figure it out. Anyway, so we got to get, I think we got to have a guest on some point. He'd be funny to bring on with his top 5 picks.
Absolutely. And well, I think I've wanted to do guest stuff for a couple of years. I think with my familiarity with the technology now, it would be relatively easy to just patch in another Zoom person and then we're rolling. So I think it'd be pretty easy.
We're like the Manning brothers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We just
the audience doesn't know this, but you do. So I was watching the Manning cast on Monday night during the Seahawks Giants game, and Ava walked in, that's my daughter, and said, "That's CJ. That's CJ." She's talking about Eli. And I was like, don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'm going to send him the message anyway.
Yes. Oh dear, such an angel you have. That's great.
Okay.
Right. So
excluding Dallas Niners, what is your top tier?
Vikings, Packers, Rams, Arizona, Tennessee.
Vikings, Rams, Packers, Titans, and who? Who did I miss? Arizona?
Arizona.
Well, shit. We only have one of those. We have one in common, so we like Arizona.
We do like Arizona.
So that's Arizona's going to be a play for sure. We don't have to talk about that one.
So that's one out of 5.
Yeah. Well, and then we have 2 sword fights because I like Philadelphia and Kansas City.
Yeah. Neither of which the right side to be on.
Yeah. And I thought about this because I like to go through the games that I haven't paid much attention to. So I go to, Tennessee, Indianapolis. I would lean Indianapolis. I probably wouldn't pick that game, but I would lean Indy on that side.
So I like Indy doing all right. Anthony Richardson. I like Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. You were freaking pretty much had a boner over him last week.
No, I'm not that excited about it. Crikey. We didn't even bet it.
You were pretty excited.
So, I mean, I think that Tennessee are picking up steam as they do. They just get warmer and warmer through the season. And Anthony Richardson doesn't really do very much except some really explosive runs. Can't throw the ball at all.
Okay.
And so I have a feeling that Tennessee getting some good run defense on them and roughing him a little bit, knocking him off his perch. I think it's pretty much a no-brainer. I think it's pretty much a pick 'em, the game. And they're just the better
Well, is it
team.
That line moved. For us in this contest, it's, what is it? It's -1. I think in Circa it's -1.5.
And it's -0.5 in the other one. It's pretty, to me, this is, I wrote down in my notes, it's pretty much a pick 'em. I just like Tennessee.
I know you do.
And I can't see, I go back to like earlier in the season. I know that doesn't matter too much these days.
Well, it does.
And if I'd have picked this game 5 weeks ago, I'd have picked Tennessee in a heartbeat.
Well, let's see what the summer line was.
So I still like him.
Summer line in this game, Indianapolis was pick 'em against Tennessee.
Still like Tennessee.
And so now they're saying that either Indianapolis is worse than expected or Tennessee is better than expected.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Points at home.
Yeah. Well, I think Indianapolis is better than I thought, not worse.
So I still don't, I mean, there's 2 teams that are benefiting from the Eagles coaching staff.
Okay. Not the Eagles?
Not the Eagles. That's the other reason why I don't like the Eagles this week. But I still don't think they're that good. They've done okay. I just don't think they're that good. I don't think.
The Colts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know that we have to bet it because that's my 6th place bet, depending on how we do in the other 5, but it's there on the table.
Well, I ask you what your top 5 were.
My top 5 includes the Dallas game.
Oh, okay.
That's in my top 5. That was like that's my second best pick of the week.
Okay. Well, hold on. I'm curious about that one, but we'll get there in a minute.
No, you know. We'll be on the same side for that one. Don't be worried about it.
So I mean, here's my notes on the Tennessee and the Colts. Tennessee's coming off a blowout win against the Bengals, who are just shit.
Yes, and remain so.
Colts are coming off of a come from behind, almost loss. So I like the motivation factor there for the Colts. And also, and again, this is something that I look at. I don't know if anybody else cares about this stat, but the Colts have a 38% greater fourth quarter cover rate than the Titans. The Titans have one of the worst in the NFL. Both teams have the same. Now, this next stat favors Tennessee. Both teams have the same number of scoring drives this year, but Indianapolis has 10 more possessions. So they score at a lower rate than the Titans. The difference is a majority of the Titans scores are field goals and a majority of the Colts scores are touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, let's just leave this as a
so that's a lot of.
I'm on Tennessee. I'm not wavering from it. You can't dissuade me from the bet. We don't have to pick as our 5.
Okay.
Let's talk about KC and the Vikings. You like KC?
Yes. I like KC. Why?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go down here. Better team. Tell me who the better team is.
KC is the better team.
KC's the better team. I think they're the better offense. I think they're the better defense. I think I like Kansas City in this spot in the fact that they won, but didn't play particularly well. So I think they're going to be focused against a team that's, I think I like Minnesota more so than most people, but I never would expect them to win this game.
So I think
I think the turnovers are a problem. I still think the turnovers are a problem. If they turn the ball over like they have, they're going to get fucking blown out.
Remember last season? What was the talk on the Vikings last season? The luckiest team in the league.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, that was the chatter. This year, they've been unlucky. I mean,
well,
if you call turnovers unlucky, I don't think they've been shitty. They're not shitty. Their offense is pretty damn good. Well, they should have beaten the Chargers.
Yeah, well, maybe.
They should have beaten them.
They had an opportunity to beat them.
They're a better team than I think they're getting credit for. They're going to score points. KC is not. They're a good team, KC. No doubt about it. I don't think KC is playing fantastic, although they're good.
No, that's why I think the line is too low. That's why I like the Chiefs.
Minnesota on our pool, I'm getting 5.5 points on Minnesota. It's going to be close. Kansas City don't care about the spread. They just care about the true outcome. They'll win by 1 and be happy. You know that.
You're throwing the true outcome at me.
But you know this about them. And this is the spot where Minnesota at home, 1-3, could keep this game tight. And if they're even down, they can backdoor cover this game, no problem, in the fourth quarter. I think this is.
I don't know. Is it easy to backdoor a 4? Like when would you backdoor 4 points?
I mean, that's it's tricky. The 4 is not. I don't like the SuperContest spread at all on the 4 because I thought it would be similar to my other ones. I picked it at 5 and 5.5.
Sure.
But I just think it's going to be close. It's going to be a tight game. The Chiefs are not running away with it. Mahomes, okay. We know he's good. They're a great team. Travis Kelce's too bothered about Taylor What's-her-face. It's just nonsense. And he doesn't really have anybody else. I mean, there's a guy called Tony out there.
How many prop bets did you have on him during the Super Bowl? There's a guy called Tony. Tony. You ever heard of them?
No. So anyway.
Not during your Jamiroquai era?
I can't. I'd be struck. I was struck. There's no connection to that, which is why I'm laughing. That's complete nonsense. Oh dear, God, I love Jamiroquai. I wish there was a Tony reference. There isn't. But anyway, I think Minnesota. I think this is a banker bet. So we're on split sides on that one.
Okay. Well, all right. Let's see.
What else we got going?
I was going to try to make a deal with you. We'll take one of yours for Minnesota, Kansas City, and we'll take one of mine for Rams, Philly.
Tell me why you want Philly.
Why do I want Philly?
I liked them last week and they didn't cover.
Well, don't be turned off by that. I think that's a complete freaking overreaction. Why is that an overreaction? Because the Commanders kicked their ass last year.
Of course they did.
Like, the right side to be on in that game last week was Washington.
Tonight? You see the Commanders? You didn't see the game tonight. Appalling. No. Sam Howell is appalling. But he was tonight. It's hot and cold. It's like every week in the NFL, it's a new week. Everybody's a new team every week.
So let me ask you this: were the Eagles hot or cold last week?
Tepid.
I don't know what to do with that.
I just don't think Eagles are firing on all cylinders at all. And
I don't think they are either.
You've got the Rams at home that are way better. Stafford is playing like a baller, like a young baller. Rams could take this win. Rams could hold this first defeat for Philadelphia. I think they're suffering from coaching losses at Philly. I really do.
Well, I agree with that.
I really do.
I don't think they're as dominant as they were last year.
This is a superb spot for the Rams. This is a superb spot.
No, I don't think so.
4.5 points. Eagles. If Eagles win at all, maybe win with a field goal. They're not running all over the Rams. No way. Literally.
And I think this is similar to 2 weeks ago when they played Tampa Bay. When everybody's a little down, everybody's questioning Philly. They're going to play an inferior team. The Rams are not as good as the Eagles.
I wasn't questioning Philly. I had him.
Huh?
I had Philly against the Bucs.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. For me, this is a similar situation. So you should, Philly. If you had Philly against the Bucs, you should have Philly against the Rams.
I shouldn't. Rams and Bucs, two different teams.
That is true. But I think the spot
every day
is similar.
There's some situational bets this week that are in our favor, and we've got to take advantage of them. I think this is one.
Jeez,
the other one I've not even mentioned, which is in my bronze tier. We might get to that later.
Okay. Well, we're struggling in the gold tier.
Yeah, I know.
So who was in my gold? Well, you like Buffalo? Talk to me about Buffalo.
Oh, I love Buffalo. There's a lot of people high on Jacksonville against Buffalo.
No.
So there's a lot of people high on Buffalo.
Well, I'm just saying
on
no.
Jacksonville. I'm saying no too. Here's the thing. I don't think that they can keep it close. That's in Jacksonville. I don't. Their defense is terrible. Buffalo, what I liked about Buffalo's win over Miami was I don't think Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle played.
They didn't?
No, they did. But that's how well Buffalo secondary did.
They were banged up.
They were excellent against the Dolphins.
Well, that's like the Seattle secondary was banged up, and then the guy goes and has 2 sacks and a fumble and an interception, a 100-yard interception for a touchdown. This guy off the bench.
Yeah, no, they were playing the Giants. So anyway,
that was a big play because that would have cut the game to 4. They had a chance at that point, not after that interception.
I'm not sure. Jacksonville last week was the right place to be.
Yes, 100%.
And here they 100%. Are this week. They've been hanging out in London. So what? There's going to be more Buffalo fans at that game in Wembley than there are going to be Jacksonville fans.
Okay.
Because in England, unfortunately, there's a ton of Glory supporters. They're always on the big teams that are doing well. Buff's been doing well for a while. They'll be jumping on the bandwagon. There'll be more Buffalo shirts than Jacksonville shirts. It'll feel like a home game to Buffalo. In my opinion, they're at least a touchdown better. They even have what's called home field advantage here. No, they don't. It's a neutral field for both of them. I don't think it impacts Buffalo. I think this is a walk in the park for Buffalo. They're on my silver tier. They're in my second level. But I think it's a walk in the park. I could give Buffalo an hour 5 picks, no problem at all.
I think they need to go in because they're one of my 5, which we don't have a sword fight on. We're on the same side of that one.
Right, so we're good so far. We've got 2.
My message to you was, I don't think there's anything to write home about with Jacksonville from this win. They did exactly what was expected. Atlanta's shitty on the road. That's something that we need to bank away.
Correct.
And Buffalo smashed who I had as probably the number 1 team in the league. Now I've got Buffalo either number 1 or number 2 behind the Niners.
What's the spread on the SuperContest?
4.
Because the spread's gone off the screen. What do you do?
Yeah.
All right.
It's 5.5.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. Okay, it's pretty solid. Yeah, lock it in.
All right. So we like Arizona and Buffalo are in.
Do like
it. Okay.
All right, let's talk about your Houston bet.
Yeah, let's talk Houston. Well, you like Atlanta, right?
So I've been flip-flopping on this one.
Okay.
But here's why I like Atlanta.
Okay.
Houston's got some injuries in their offensive line. I read about that.
Which I think has been consistent for the whole season.
Atlanta.
I think their line's been banged up the whole year, and they're still been playing
Atlanta is like other than maybe Denver on paper, the worst performing good team. But what Atlanta does well is they let Bijan, let him run against Houston. What do we know about Houston's run defense? Last in the league. Atlanta at home, Houston run defense. They're going to just steamroll them a little bit. Get the pressure on CJ Stroud. And Atlanta's going to squeak the win. They're going to squeak the win. -1.5. What is it? -2?
-2.
I got -1.5.
So how squeaky is it going to be?
Yeah, they'll win by a field goal.
The last second walk-off by Koo?
At home. They will just ground and pound Houston Texans who can't stop the run. It's like,
how can Houston have the worst run defense in the NFL when they've blown out 2 teams in a row? Two games in a row they've been ass whoopings.
You are Stato. You know the stats. Get a look at that.
I don't look at those like traditional stats anymore.
They're terrible. And here's the thing about the Falcons.
But I'm asking you a question. So I'm just listen.
I'm listening.
How can they be the worst run defense in the NFL when they've just kicked 2 teams' ass in a row who probably weren't even running the ball?
Well, therein lies the question. They weren't running the ball, but their run defense sucks.
But how can they still be like, what stats are you looking at?
Let me find
yards per carry.
Let me find it. Well, we'll talk. I'll find it while we're talking.
Now, if it's yards per carry, okay, maybe, but it can't be yards per game, because I have a feeling the last 2 games they haven't given up very many rushing yards.
They haven't. Let me see. Oh God, I can't see with my eyes on it.
My only concern about Atlanta while you're looking for that is they might be much better at home. That's my only note that favors Atlanta. And Houston has scored 20.9 points per game on the road this year, but that's because they laid an egg in week 1 at Baltimore.
They're allowing 4.5 yards per carry.
Okay. Is that worst in the NFL? How many rushing yards total?
28th in the NFL. 466 rushing yards off 107 attempts. 28th in the NFL.
Okay, so look at the rushing how many rushing attempts?
107 attempts.
Right, and where does that rank?
It doesn't give the ranking for that.
Can you sort it and count?
7 not on this. 7 touchdowns they've allowed off those. And then you look conversely, you look at the Titans with 10 less rushing attempts and have only given up 260 yards. That's like 200 less yards for 10 attempts.
Maybe the Titans have a good run defense.
They do.
I have that. I find that hard to believe. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but
I think it's just an interesting thing. If you're that strong on Atlanta, I think it's just interesting to pay attention to Houston's.
I'm not that strong on that. I don't like Atlanta.
Sorry, Houston. Sorry. Just pay attention to that run defense, because Atlanta can run pretty well. That's about all they can do. They've got the world's worst quarterback. We could have Taylor Heineke coming on at halftime.
Well, I like Heineke. Can the Steelers run?
It's certainly an upgrade.
Can the Steelers run?
Not this season.
No, because they just played Houston. Shut them down. Who'd Houston play before? Can Jacksonville run?
Yeah, Jacksonville.
No.
Jacksonville.
Because Houston just shut them down.
No, they didn't. Don't talk nonsense.
Hold on. I need to fact check that shit.
Look it up.
400 yards rushing.
Look it up and get back to me.
How many? Okay, so do me a favor.
Maybe we can double or quit the bet here. This is where we could double or quit the bet. Although I'm not that high on this one as a bet, to be honest.
Yeah,
take one of the other bets.
Do me a favor.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of who they played. How many rushing yards did they give up against Baltimore in the first week? Baltimore didn't score a ton of points because that game was like 22-10 or something like that?
Yeah, it's game one of the season. The stats are useless.
I just want to know what percentage of those 400 yards came into week one when they didn't play very well.
Keep talking.
Well, now I'm starting to click around.
Yeah. I can't get it to.
All right. Well, I don't know about that. I like Houston. Houston's a better team.
Look it up.
They are, when the public has been on the side of Houston, they're 1-0 ATS. There's no adjustment from the summer line. I mean, how about that? No adjustment. Well, hold on. Let me look. Let me look. What was this game preseason? Atlanta -3.5. I think that's about right. I think Houston's been 1.5 better than expected. And I think they're better than Atlanta. And they're getting, well, clearly. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. These are even teams. Even teams with Houston playing on the road. Okay. I don't think we're getting anywhere with this one.
No.
Let's go to the big dog. Dallas and San Francisco. Who do you like?
Who do you think?
I don't know. You like taking favorites a lot. So I think you're leaning 49ers.
I've been leaning 49ers until this game because I'm on the Dallas hot streak. I've been on Dallas all since the start of the season. I've got several bets on futures on Dallas. So I think this is the best team the Niners have faced this season.
For sure.
I thought Arizona were able to move the ball all over them last week. I think Dallas...
They might be better. They are better than Dallas. They beat them the week before.
Dallas were the only team really to rock Purdy in any prior games. I think they have a chance to get at him again. I think they'll keep it very close. I think they could win. My only worry on Dallas, I'm really high on Dallas in this game. My only worry is their terrible red zone percentage. But the 3 games they win, they're blowing out people by something like 18, 20, and 35 points or something crazy like that.
Well, you're not suspecting that. You wouldn't take Dallas -10, would you?
No. I'm saying, they can still score points even though they're a 37% red zone percentage. But up against these guys.
You're one of these cherry picking stat guys.
I am a cherry picking stat guy. I like this stat though. I do like this stat. I just think that's why it's my top 5 bet. It's my second best bet of the week behind Arizona, smashing up Burrow, is it's Dallas covering it, Niners. And we're going to be there watching it. And I want the Niners to win, but...
You want the Niners to win on the last second field goal?
I don't care if it's the last second.
Even
if they get a field goal to win by 1, I don't care. I want them to win, but Dallas to cover.
Okay.
I know you disagree.
I've been off on the 49ers this year. Although, in my defense, other than Pittsburgh, they've been close. If you put the stats in a vacuum.
My record is good. My record is good on the Niners this season.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's been...
Don't give any excuses.
It could have gone... Two of the games could have gone either way.
It's fact. Yeah, it's all of the games. Come on.
Anyhow. The Rams game was bullshit. You know that. And the 49ers could have run out the clock without scoring last week. And Arizona almost went down the field and backdoored it anyway. Anyway, if you gave me blind stats, if you showed me the stats without the teams associated with them, and then you told me one of those teams is getting 3.5 or 4 points, I think it's 4 in circa, you would take the points every single time. When you show me the teams, this is Dallas, San Francisco, it makes me want to pick the Niners. But I will say, with the data that I look at, unequivocally, without question, I think the right pick is Dallas.
It's the right pick. It's absolutely the right pick. This is, you know how we talked about, man, I'm so tired. My brain's not working. We talked about.
You seem pretty normal to me.
Shut up. Somebody early on, we just talked about. God, it's the same situation. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Tell me more.
It'll come back to me. This is the right, like, you know how we had Jacksonville? It was the right time for Jacksonville last week.
Yeah.
It's the right time for Dallas this week. I think Niners will struggle a little bit against Pollard. If Tony Pollard, I think he got injured against the Niners last time he played. And, you know, that was a tight game.
Yes.
This is, it's the most mouth-watering game of the weekend without a shadow of a doubt. And we'll see it live, which is even better.
It's the most mouth-watering game of the season, in my opinion, so far.
Yeah. And this is going to be very, very close. It's a teeter-totter, and taking the points, it's a Cowboys.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that. Can't disagree. Go. I mean, I hope the 49ers win. I don't care if they cover or not.
Me too.
All right. You like Green Bay. Green Bay was in your top tier?
Yeah, I love Green Bay.
I've got Green Bay coming off a loss. The Raiders coming off a loss. Green Bay has a 44% fourth quarter cover advantage. Green Bay's laying 2, though. On this, it's only 1.
Look, come on.
It's only 1.
What do you think about? Tell me what you think about the Raiders as a team. How do you like the Raiders? Are they a good team?
What I think about the Raiders when I do my analysis is they are a ball control team that is going to try to keep every game close and limit possessions.
They suck. We said this 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's another analysis.
They sucked last week. There's certain teams I just got to bet them to lose. Green Bay did not play well, and they were not coached well. Matt LaFleur had a doozy. It wasn't great.
They played Detroit?
Yeah.
Oh, Detroit's just better.
No. I like Detroit. I like Detroit this week, but at 9.5 points, even I get nervous at that. I still think they're going to smash the Panthers. They could smash them by 21 points. I don't know. It's an interesting. That's another mouth-watering matchup. But I'm trying to get off these high point spreads this week. But here's the thing: Green Bay will smash the Raiders. Aaron Jones getting back going. Christian Watson, second game back, is going to get back going. They've got a few of their defensive players back in. I think these guys are coming out and they're just smashing them. I can't believe it's a -1. It should be.
I don't think the Packers are capable of smashing anybody.
Raiders. God damn Raiders. I've got to remind myself.
I think the Raiders win this game on a last-second field goal.
That's
what I think happens.
It'll be done. So Green Bay will come out. They'll start slow. They'll be terrible in the first quarter. It'll be 7-0, maybe 10-0 to Las Vegas after the first quarter. Maybe they'll get 10-3 at the half, and then Green Bay will be back out in the second half, and they'll just get 3 touchdowns. They'll put them away. 24-10.
How do you feel about Baltimore and Pittsburgh?
I hate this game. I hate it. I hate this. You know why I hate this? Because Ravens are by far the better team. By far the better team. By far the better team. But guess what? It's Pittsburgh at home. Mike Tomlin, a dog. That's the situation. I hate the situation. Yep. I'm not betting this game because I don't like the situation. Kenny Pickett will play with a bloody knee brace on. They'll be pretty terrible, but they'll probably shut Baltimore down. But Baltimore are so good. It's like I just can't touch it. It's a situational bet. I can't touch it.
God, well, we don't have many other options.
But I'm right, aren't
I? I mean, my only positive for Baltimore is that they are an underdog. So from the division underdog at home, these games between these two teams are usually very close. So you would expect the game to be decided by a field goal, and the spread on here is 4.
Yeah.
So I don't like that either.
No.
But Baltimore should destroy them.
They should. Baltimore should win by a street. Buffalo should win by a street. Detroit should win by a street. Those 3 teams should win by a street, in my opinion. Carolina Panthers are terrible, but it's too big of a spread.
Yeah, the spread's too big. So when I was comparing the stats, the difference between Buffalo and Jacksonville is almost identical to the difference because the spread's 4 points difference. So you should either love Buffalo or you should love Carolina.
I don't buy that for a second.
What?
I do love Buffalo. I think Carolina.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You love Buffalo.
I love Buffalo.
That's where the error is. That Buffalo should be favored by more.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. That's why we're going to take the Bills.
That's why we're taking it.
Well, we got to figure this out because we only have 3 solid.
What have we got now? We got Dallas. We got
Dallas, Buffalo, and Arizona, which I like.
Well, we've got to take one of the games at Philly or KC. We've got to because they're in your top 5. I'm on.
Yeah, we just have sword fights.
I'm on both of these games in my top 5. We've got a couple of sword fights. I don't know if you can sway me. Hang on.
And I lean Indianapolis against Tennessee. Although I like Tennessee, I could take Tennessee.
So I
want Tennessee to win. So from like a rooting interest, I would rather go for Tennessee.
I have to remind myself, I'm getting 5.5 on Minnesota over here, which I like. It's only 4 here at the SuperContest.
Yeah. And it's 4.5. Oh, no, I'm looking at the Eagles. That's why 4. I think I just don't. It's not enough points.
I'm worried. Now, we both like Vikes coming into the season. We got a basket on the Vikes. We got a big weaved coracle basket on the Vikes.
Yeah.
They're not that bad, man. They're not that bad.
I know they're not that bad. But hold on. When you were going through the schedule and you were taking Minnesota over 8.5 wins, which we both did, I think.
Yeah, we did.
When you got to Kansas City, did you think they were going to win this game?
No, it's not about winning the game.
They're not going to win.
It's about covering the spread.
I know it's about covering, but you didn't think Minnesota in the summer line was +5.
In my regular pick'em league, which I'm winning by a street, which is not against the spread, I picked the Chiefs. Of course, I picked the Chiefs.
So they're going to win by at least 1.
Who are the Chiefs?
The Chiefs are going to win by 1 because you picked them to win.
Yeah, they'll win.
You don't think they could cover 4 when they almost lost last week and Minnesota just gives games away?
But you see, you're thinking the wrong way. Kansas City don't care how much they win by.
I know.
They don't care how much they win by. So
if this were 7, I would be looking at Minnesota.
Vikings at home will play better. They will play well. They will score points. They will score a lot of points on the Chiefs. Now, their defense we know is not fantastic, but it's okay.
They played really well last week against Carolina, who you just told me was terrible.
I think it's a lot closer game. I'm more nervous about that one than I am Rams-Eagles. You could possibly persuade me onto the Eagles against the Rams more than you can the Chiefs against the Vikings. And I like the Eagles.
I like an Eagle. Okay.
It's another situation here for the Rams at home. Philly, not quite firing on all cylinders.
No, but what's similar about both the Eagles and the Chiefs this week is they had narrow escape wins. So I think that's good that they won. And it also, they've got the coach's attention.
More the so other thing for the Eagles, Andy Reid is just so good. He's like, oh,
well, he's coaching the Chiefs now.
No, I know. He's so good. He's not that worried. He's going to say, yeah, he's the best coach in the league. He just wants the win. He's going to squeak the win somehow. Even if his team's not playing well, put them in the right spot.
Yeah, I think. So okay, I'm going to say your game flow is. I'm going to concede that your game flow is accurate, just for sake of argument. So it's going to be close, and then Chris Jones is either going to get a strip sack, or Cousins is going to throw a pick six, and the Chiefs are going to win by 10 or 13. Like, trust me, I want the Vikings to win all their games, but they keep fucking up. And it costs them. And for me, 4 points isn't, Kansas City -4. I wouldn't want them to cover a touchdown or 10 points.
No, that's.
But 4?
I've told you the only -4 makes me nervous because I've got -5.5 over here. It's
better to take -5 or +5.5 for sure.
Yeah.
Whew. I wonder what let me look at the Circa line on this one, because Circa tends to be, or allegedly is, the sharpest book. Let me see if I took a screenshot of it.
4. It's 4. It's 4.
It's 4 in Circa?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 4.
So they're not expecting a ton of line movement.
No. The Eagles are 4 also.
Mm-hmm. So that one you would want to lean Rams, because you're getting 4.5 instead of 4.
Which is where I do want to lean.
But it also tells me money's going to come in on the Eagles, so they're the better side. Well, we got to find something.
Well, we can't pick the Jets at Denver. That's a terrible game.
What? It's so funny. It's so funny. I crossed that one off too. I was like, I don't trust either of these teams. Fuck that. I'm not going to pick it.
What about Miami? Could they blow out the Giants?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think the Giants are the worst team in the NFL?
They absolutely. Based on what we watched on Monday night, we could put a team together that could beat them. Crikey.
Well,
I'm English. I can't even throw.
You want to take Miami 10.5?
It's a big spread, dude. It's
a huge spread, which I don't usually like doing.
It's 11 here. It's 11 in the SuperContest.
Well, it's 11. Okay. The Giants are not good. No. Last week, I had the Dolphins as the best team in the NFL. The Dolphins are coming off a loss where they got smoked.
Yeah.
So
by the better team.
Huh?
By the better team that we're on this week.
By the better team. I'll give you that. And they're playing the Giants. Like, what about the Giants makes me think they're going to be able to keep pace or slow down the Miami Dolphins? Nothing.
No. Just all over them. All over them like a bad rash.
We're in more agreement on this one. Or what about the one underneath, the Patriots and the Saints? I would go Miami -11 probably.
So it's Patriots and the Saints for me. This -1 +1. It's another one that's like a pick 'em. I don't like Derek Carr. I don't like Dennis Allen. They're not doing particularly well. New England are also awful. They've got even more injuries now, the Patriots. What'll happen? Well, the Saints will win by a field goal. It'll be a crappy game, and the Saints will win by a field goal. But I can't touch it because it's just awful.
Okay, we're not going to touch it.
But they will. Saints will win by 3.
Ravens, we're not going to touch. Arizona, we're on. Eagles, we can't agree on. Broncos, we're not going to touch. Kansas City, we can't agree on. We both like Dallas. Packers and Raiders.
How about we take the Bears?
Okay. Well, we did. We did in our.
We did.
We did in our pool thing.
I don't know why I didn't put that on. That was a good bet. That.
Well, because we would have had to make all of our picks before that game started for the contest.
Yeah.
We can't change them.
Okay, that
you don't like
going
Houston?
Into when I first looked at this week, my initial response was like, "Oh,
yes." It's the same with me.
The whole week, it's like, oh, nothing really felt good about this week. I mean, so obviously, go on.
Let me try to give you a question that maybe will help.
You don't want to take Green Bay?
Well, hold on. If you're looking at the matchups, and you ask yourself, who is, without question, the better team? Without question, there's no doubt about it. There's no argument. Getting or giving the fewest number of points, who would it be?
Buffalo.
Okay. After that,
Arizona.
After that, well, Arizona's getting 3, which is crazy.
Sorry, Green Bay.
Okay. Then that's where we have to go.
Well, what about you? What do you think?
I think it's probably Philadelphia or Kansas City.
We got to take one of them.
Well, we don't have to.
Because we only got 3 so far.
Well, I know, but we could take Miami. We could take Tennessee.
No, because now, well, Miami.
We could take the biggest spread. We could take a pick 'em.
We both like Miami. Really good, but it's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. The Giants, there's no doubt the Giants could bounce back a little bit, but they still suck.
Well, I even think even last year's version of the Giants, they play a lot of close games. I just don't think they can I don't think they can slow Miami down enough for their offense to keep up with Miami.
Yeah.
It's just going to be they're just going to tack on.
Correct. Miami have been traveling all over the place. They're back home too.
Yeah.
They're going to love being back home. They're back home. They're with their families. They're feeling good. They want to show everybody that they're not as bad as Buffalo made them look. They could smash all over the Giants. They could absolutely smash all over the Giants.
I agree.
I mean, on my notes for this one is, whoa, NYG awful. Miami should smash them, but 11 points? Question mark. That's what it said. That's all I wrote.
Let's see. What did we think going into this season? Ooh, they were only favored by 5.
Yeah.
So that's a big, big shift.
Yeah.
It's a 6-point shift. I don't know. We're kind of at a crossroads.
Look at the notes here.
I think we're on equal and opposite sides of Kansas City and Philadelphia. So I think we should stay away from those.
Yeah, I would happily give you one. I'd happily give you one. If we can't come to agreement and we need a 5th, I'll give you one of those picks.
Well, I'd rather look at 2 other games where we might I'd rather take Green Bay and Tennessee.
Green Bay for sure. You should. Look, see, it's a lock. Of course, it's a lock.
I just don't. I'm trying to look at something compelling for Green Bay. What is compelling? Let me put this. Spread is that it's only -1,
and they're playing the Raiders.
I just think it's the Raiders. I think it's Monday night. I think the Super Bowl's in Vegas. I think the NFL wants to hype it up. Although the Formula One construction has just fucking destroyed the strip. It's a shit show over there right now.
Mm-hmm. Who's the better team in that game?
You know what? I didn't circle a team, but I'm pretty sure Green Bay's the better team.
Yeah.
I know that 44% fourth quarter cover rate differential is 1, 2. It's the 4th highest difference in any of the games this week, which means Green Bay has been exceeding people's expectations when the game is coming to its conclusion, the final 15 minutes.
Yeah. I think with them getting healthy, Vegas with a bottom ranked defense.
Is Garoppolo playing or not?
But it doesn't make me change my mind whether he is or he isn't.
Well, so you're saying whether the backup that's never played an NFL game before this last week is equal to Jimmy Garoppolo?
It doesn't factor in my decision to pick Green Bay over the Raiders. The Raiders.
So you think Green Bay should be favored by 5, 6, 7?
I don't really. No,
4, 5, 6, 7. 4 maybe.
Maybe 4. Maybe
3 or 4. Okay, well that's a huge margin if you think this line is 3 points off.
Yeah.
What do I have for Green Bay? Let me see if I can pull up my spreadsheet for Green Bay. Hold on. I hope this doesn't fuck up our feed here. Let's see. Let me look at this matchup. And I've got some nifty automated spreadsheets that I'm digging.
Big.
So let's look at the matchup. Let's go Green Bay. And let's go Vegas. I'll throw some numbers at you. So, scoring drives. For the Packers, 16. For the Raiders, 11. Okay. The Packers have had more possessions, but the percentage is still higher. So 16 out of 41, 11 out of 36. That's an edge to the Packers. Touchdown percentage. So of the scoring drives, Packers are 69% touchdowns. Raiders are 63% touchdowns. Right. So that's edge Packers. Giveaways. Now here's a good stat right here. This could be where the game hinges on being close or not close. The Raiders have 6 more giveaways than the Packers. The Packers have 4 turnovers this season. The Raiders have 10. If there's a turnover differential, you're saying this game's not close. It could go from 3 to 10 with 1 turnover. Takeaways, all the defensive stats, the Packers are better. Yes. They give up fewer scoring drives. They give up fewer yards per possession. Yeah. They have more takeaways, and they force more punts.
Yes.
All right. I go Green Bay.
Bueno, hombre.
Let me look at this here. Green Bay, Las Vegas. So Green Bay. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Here's another thing that I automated. So check this out. Let me see if you like this. Let's see if you think this is relevant. How many possessions has a team had when it's tied, when they're ahead, or when they're behind? Is that an indication of the quality of the team? Do you think that has any merit at all?
I'm sure there's some merit in that, yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
So, the Green Bay Packers have had 14 possessions with a lead. It's pretty low. It's 33%.
Yeah, it's low.
The Raiders have had 3. 30th in the NFL. 8% of their possessions have been with a lead.
Wow.
67% of their possessions have been when they're trailing. And this is something that we should look at. If we're looking at the Raiders, I can even give you this stat. So they've been trailing for 25 possessions. Of the possessions they've been behind, they've scored 7 times and failed to score 18 times. So 72% of the time they're behind, they don't score. Which to me makes it seem like they're not likely, if they're behind, the data would tell us they're not likely going to come back. At the same time, I'm not sure Green Bay really stretches the lead. Let me look at that real quick. Green Bay's been, oh no, it's not bad. Green Bay's been ahead for 14 possessions, and they've added to their lead on 8 of those possessions, 57% of the time.
Really is validating the pick.
Yeah.
Which I like.
I didn't have a strong opinion on this one. I'm coming to your side. I think we should take Green Bay.
I like it a lot. All right, we got Green Bay, we got Dallas, we got Buffalo, we got Arizona.
We just need one more.
You get the 5th pick.
You want to take a closer look at Tennessee and Indy?
You have the sword. No, you take you take a top pick.
Do I have the sword?
You've got it now. I've just given it to you.
Because you fucked up Dallas and Arizona last week?
No, because I smashed you out the park with Buffalo. you and your.
Well, that wasn't it was kind of a sword fight, but it wasn't one of our picks.
No, it wasn't.
But that's what we should do. We should make a side bet on these two games. That put it in the contest.
100%. Put the spread back up there for me, buddy. S'il vous plaît. Okay, so.
Let me, since I just gave you some of those stats, let me put up Kansas City and Minnesota. Yeah. Kansas City is way better than Minnesota.
Let's put them in. Let's put them in.
So the yards, there's no difference. It's a 1 yard per drive. And it's 3 yards per drive on defense. So they're going to get the same number of yards. Here's the difference. Well, here it is. Minnesota turns the ball over in the red zone. They don't score. Both teams have 11 touchdowns. The Chiefs have 8 field goals. The Vikings have 2 because they have 10 effing turnovers. And I would say at least 6 of them have been in the red zone. It's unbelievable. Let me look at this other stuff. Let me look at Kansas City and Minnesota over here. Kansas City, possessions with a lead, 24. All right, that's 55% of their possessions they're ahead. That's 6th in the NFL. The Minnesota Vikings, 4. They've had the ball 4 times ahead in the game this entire season. So what do the Vikings do when they're behind? Since they're behind so much, they only score 35% of the time. Let me ask you this. If we're going to pick one of these games, who are you more confident in predicting how well they're going to play? Is it Kansas City or is it Philadelphia? Or which team has less variability in your opinion?
Do I have to answer that question or can I say the Rams? I think the Rams are going to play really well.
They might.
So I'd rather take KC out of KC and the Eagles.
Okay. So you're going.
We'll take the minus.
You're not as worried about Minnesota as you would be about the Rams.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. We good?
Yeah.
Arizona's a dog. Buffalo's a favorite. Dallas is a dog. Green Bay's a favorite. Kansas City's a favorite. But none of the lines are huge.
No.
All right.
No.
I like it.
It's good. It's a good 5. I like that. Buffalo, Green Bay, Dallas, Arizona, Kansas City. We don't have a side bet, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. I still think the Eagles will win and cover.
I still think Atlanta will win.
Atlanta against Houston?
Yeah.
I mean, they could.
I like that bet. I like that bet a lot, actually. I like Tennessee, close. I like Atlanta, close.
Yeah, I think those games could be close. Houston's due for a letdown. I just don't know if it's against Atlanta.
I know.
So I would have, again, the only thing that would make me take Atlanta is if I was confident that they play much better at home. And I'm just not sure I can make that comment.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'm picking them, but I like them.
We'll pick them. Cool.
Smash it. Right. Wrap it up. Let's do our overs. And
let's wrap it up. Yeah. So we do that just for the person who watches. We do we're in this. So Winner's Circle proxy service. Let's give them a little plug. I need to put their graphic on our page somewhere.
Yeah. And then we need to get this down to like 40 minutes. Boom.
Yeah. I thought tonight was going to be 30 minutes or less. I'm like, Phil's going to definitely like Philly. He's definitely going to like Kansas City. This is going to be nice and quick. I might have to convince him on Arizona. You love Arizona. You hate the other ones. So we'll see what happens. But we'll shrink it down. Well, one of these days we might get on the same page and then it'll go pretty fast.
I know. Yeah.
All right. So plug for Winner's Circle proxy. Those are the people that we use to put our picks in Vegas. So great service. I recommend it if anybody wants to do it in the future. But they started another pool with all their clients. And so off air, McNasty and I just go, you have to pick every game and you have to pick over under. So, and they do just a private pool for their clients, and the winner gets, I think, free entry into Circa, Westgate, or Survivor, or all three or something next year. So
yeah,
I'm going to stop the recording and we're going to do that. And we'll be back next week talking about our 5-0 card.
5-0, baby.
5-0. Let's go.